Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children. And welcome to another episode of Dr. Drew After Dark. We appreciate it, you guys. Thanks for the emails at drdrewafterdark@gmail.com. And, of course, those voice messages at 818-253-1693. And don't forget the merchandise at merchmethod.com/Tom Segura, all the embarrassing T-shirts that we've created. I appreciate that. And it's my privilege to welcome Taylor Tomlinson to the show. Taylor, welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you having me.
Applause from the back room.
Oh,
this is
thank
awesome.
you. Wow, look at this treatment.
And I think we had your partner on, did we not? Kelsey?
Yes, you had Kelsey.
Yes,
Kelsey Cook, who I do my podcast with.
She was great.
Yes.
Tell us about
awesome.
that podcast.
We have a podcast called Self-Helpless. Me, Kelsey, and our friend Delaney Fisher. We all basically just break down different types of self-help, self-improvement, and decide whether or not we think they're bullshit. But we're also like three young white ladies, so usually we're like, this really worked for us.
Well, she and I were talking about the fact that there's been an industry of books for self-help for the last 40 years.
Yes.
Are we healthier, better, happier? None of the above.
I mean, we're more aware of how messed up we are, though. Is that anything?
I'm not sure I can say that.
I wonder, I was just talking to a friend of mine about this at lunch, about how, like, does that make it easier to date you if you're like a self-aware person, or harder? Because you just come into it like, these are my issues. This is how you need to treat me.
I think easier or harder is really dependent on your pathology, not your awareness about your pathology.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're in the middle of treatment for your pathology, then you might shut up. You might not be talking about it anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right.
Or you might think of it differently. It's not something that needs to be talked about. It's something that needs to be experienced.
Right.
So that's one of my big complaints about self-help. It's strictly cognitive. And thinking about things and doing, just thinking about stuff essentially, or ways of thinking about things, and that is only so deep. Our emotional systems get left out of the entire conversation, except for the fact that if you make real change, then you'll feel a certain way about having made that change. But that is, again, sort of left out of the self-help operation.
The actual incorporation of
figuring out what that was. Like, so let's say I was talking to somebody the other day who finally, with support of a therapist, was able to essentially end a relationship that she'd been thinking about ending for a long time. And she left the situation and cried for like 4 hours and just was overwhelmingly sad. Even though the relationship had been done for a long time, she wasn't happy with it. And I thought, well, that's the feeling you were avoiding. And where did that feeling come from? Well, my parents broke up. And so, but that's important. That's what prevented her from making the change in the first place, was avoiding that feeling. Self-help would never tell you anything about that.
Yeah, maybe not. Although I will say, because I'm like that too, like I have a hard time breaking up with people and I know all the reasons why, and I know all the reasons why I feel the way I do, and where all those feelings come from, but it doesn't make me want to avoid them any less.
It's exactly the point.
Yeah.
It's exactly the point.
But I am aware of them.
Another version of the point, which is,
yes,
it's how do you incorporate these experiences, and how do you regulate them, and how do you, in spite of these feelings, do things you want to do. And
I do feel like that the awareness helps me move past them quicker, though. In the same way, like when I started going to therapy in high school, I was like very, very depressed, and I went in and she was like, you are extremely anxious. Like you have anxiety, and that's depressing you. She's like, so it goes hand in hand. She's like, but the core root issue is your anxiety. And like, I didn't know what a panic attack was. I was like, oh, that's what's happening to me. And once I knew what was happening, it doesn't mean it's never going to happen again, but it did help me
manage it.
Yeah. To be able to say in those moments.
You're bringing up an interesting piece here of mood disturbances. Is some people have overwhelming anxiety and that makes them depressed. Some people have depression and they have agitation and anxiety as a feature of their depression. And some people have both.
Yeah,
as a feature.
Well, it's a car. Like, well, the feature's on this one.
Well, feature in the sense that if the depression is treated, the anxiety goes away.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you have both, you can treat the depression. You still have the anxiety.
Yeah.
And if you have what you had, you've got to treat the anxiety, so the depression goes away.
Yes.
Which is it's weird how we're wired up that way. No one ever talks about that either in self-help. So what else are you? What are you like lately focusing on in these self-help books?
Oh, for the podcast, or just me personally?
What are you interested in that category?
Oh, I mean, the podcast is nice because there's three of us and we all have different things. And I mean, we talk about self-help is such a broad topic. I think that's why we picked it, because we're like, well, we'll never run out of things to talk. I mean, we've done episodes on like veganism. Like, we're pretty open.
And some of it's motivational stuff.
Yeah. It's some of it's lifestyle and health and whatever. It's really, I would say more self-improvement.
What have you got something out of?
Oh gosh, I don't know. We had a death doula on maybe like 6 months ago. She's this amazing. I know. She's this. I'm like, you can hear people laughing in the sound booth.
It wasn't meant to be funny, guys.
Yeah. Her name's Lua Arthur. She's amazing. She just like helps people make like their end of life plan, essentially, and not just people who are dying, like people who just want to do that even when they're healthy. But she like works with families and people who are. She's like a one-woman hospice, like a more personal version of that. But she was very interesting, and that was something I never would have known about if we hadn't been doing this podcast. I think Delaney found her. Yeah. Like, and then we'll do some episodes on just like worrying and like things like that. Like there's never any shortage of things to get better at.
So when you were, this is high school, you started therapy?
Yes.
And you were depressed and anxious. How come? And by the way, you don't seem at all that now.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm medicated newly. I don't want to misrepresent myself. This is a new thing. I have a very big green tea with me. I put on lipstick for this. I was really, really depressed. I didn't know that was what was happening. And a friend of mine, she's still my best friend, was like, I think you're dealing with depression. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But like, I lost my mom really young when I was a kid.
What happened?
She had cancer. Pretty standard, you know.
How old were you?
I was 8, and then I have 3 younger sisters who were 2, 4, and 6 years old.
Oof.
And then my dad got remarried like a year later, and then we moved.
You said 2 younger sisters?
3. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, and then I was 8 years old. And then my dad got remarried pretty quickly, and she's like amazing, but she's very different. And we had like some friction and getting used to each other. And we like moved from Northern California to Southern California. It was a lot of different changes. And, went from having like a stay-at-home mom to, my dad and my stepmom working all the time. And I think there were just a lot of different factors. Like we had, since my parents worked all the time, from the time we were, and then before that, my mom was sick. From the time we were really young, we always had like babysitters and nannies and things. And that's a very like temporary job. Like now that I'm the age that those women were when they were taking care of us, like that's not a job you keep for years and years. That's a thing you do for like 8 to 12 months and then you leave. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking after kids who like just lost their maternal figure, and then you come in like, I love you, you're like my little sister,
and then you leave too.
Yeah, and we're always going to keep in touch, and we're always going to be friends, and like saying all these things that they're not bad people for saying them. They really thought those things, but by the time
people.
Yeah, well, they weren't certified or anything. So then we get to like the 7th or 8th one, and I think I just turned into a real bitch by that point, where I was like, you're not going to keep in touch with us, you can't say those things. And those are things I didn't even think about until therapy as an adult was like, oh, that really affected me, maybe more than anything else, because those were like people choosing to leave you, and then just sort of like, just all those different things. I was insecure. I think after my mom died, that like invincible bubble you feel as a child and a teen, where you're like, nothing bad's ever gonna happen to me. Bad things happen in movies. And once something really bad happens to you, you're like, oh, okay, so I just need to be on the lookout all the time because I didn't see that one coming. So maybe if I see it coming, it won't come.
Right. It won't hurt me so much.
Yeah, or it won't hurt me so much, even if it does.
Did you screw with your relationships?
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I was so nervous from the time I was like 9 years old. I had like insomnia. I used to like wander around my house at night, like just terrified that if I went to sleep, the house would catch fire and my parents would die. Like horrible nightmares. I still have horrible nightmares. I take like an edible every night to sleep now. Like it's just been.
Does that help? I know people get worse nightmares with edibles.
Really?
Yeah.
I read somewhere that THC inhibits dreaming and
can enhance it.
It can do either. Yeah. Melatonin made my nightmares worse.
They make them weird.
Yeah, they make them real weird. And even like sleeping pills and stuff. So the edibles were the only things that helped.
So I'm guessing you still, given that the nightmares sort of bubble up, do you still live with a certain amount of this? What is it? Oh yeah. Is it dread or pain?
Oh, definitely dread. I think all of the above. Yeah. I feel like, am I throwing too much at you? I came in real hot with the trauma.
Not at all. Because what I'm interested in, I can faintly attune to it with you, but I don't see it on you.
Which?
I can attune to it, like I can feel it a little bit, but I don't see it on you.
That's
good.
You
don't wear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing foundation.
Aside from the makeup and foundation, lipstick and gloss, you seem, and I'm not going to buy that it's the medication. I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I think comedy and performing really does help, which is so funny because the actual performance aspect is not as much as like the travel and the dread and the anxiety and the preparation that surrounds the actual performing. Like when you break down, I'm on stage for 6 hours every weekend, but I'm in Wisconsin for 65 hours, right. And that's all the time that comedy isn't helping these things. Like if anything, this lifestyle of uncertainty and travel and constantly needing to prove yourself only exacerbates like those things.
Well, we have this weird thing as humans, which is when things have been traumatic for us in childhood, we are attracted to circumstances and people that are precisely the same as those that caused us the trauma in the first place.
Right.
It's called a reenactment.
Yeah. And that's why I only have sex with dead people.
Oh, interesting.
That was such a... Everyone in the sound booth is laughing, you guys. So if you're listening going, that didn't go great, it's going pretty well.
Dead seriously. so
that's a joke. Everyone's been alive. Some of them have been dead inside, but
that's
not physically.
Fascinating. But traumatic reenactments are really a common thing.
Yeah.
And they're neither here nor there until you go too far, then you re-traumatize yourself.
Yes.
So sometimes it's just stuff you're attracted to, and it kind of even can work for you, but then it goes too far.
Right.
When does it go too far for you?
Ooh, I think I go back and forth, in like romantic relationships.
It could be anywhere, yeah. It could be that. It could be your relationship with the audience. It could be the travel and stressing yourself out with that. Or I
mean, I definitely lean in when people pull back, even if it's not the right thing for me, just because that feeling of loss and abandonment.
I can't deal with the loss and abandonment.
Can't deal with losing people.
Are you preoccupied with loss and abandonment?
Yes. If I'm really happy, I think something terrible is going to happen.
But that's different. That's catastrophizing.
Yeah.
That's not constantly worried about, because people that are really worried about abandonment will abandon.
Yes.
They'll be the first to do it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm like that in relationships too. At the beginning of every relationship, and it's because I'm like, once I'm in, I'm really in, and I will not leave, and it'll be really hard for me to, even if things are bad. So I'm like, I got to make sure this is good first. But yeah, I will try to leave for a little while, usually, at like any sign of anything not being great.
Would you have a big blow up or just leave?
No,
There's different versions of that.
Yeah, and it's hard to know because I sometimes, in my last relationship, I think early on there were things that just, it wasn't quite right, but I was trying to fight against those patterns that I was aware of like, okay, don't just like run because everything's not perfect. But then those things became an issue.
Sometimes that can make you stay too long.
Exactly. And then those things cropped up later as like, no, those are issues that you should have listened to maybe at the beginning.
This was an engagement, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's fine. I mean, whatever. I have to pick up a wedding dress in a few months, but I'll wear it for promotion or something.
That's the medication.
I'll shorten it. It'll be great.
Crop it. Make a crop top out of it.
I'll do a crop top out of it. I'll shorten it and go to Vegas. Yeah, I didn't know if I should.
I'm going to talk to Dennis Rodman after we talk. Maybe he could use it.
Yeah.
He likes wearing that stuff.
Oh, there you go. That works. Pay it forward. Yeah, no, that was a really hard thing to end. Even knowing it wasn't right, because you're just.
At least you knew.
Right, but and it's so crazy because we were only together for like little over a year, and I think the thing you were mourning more than the relationship was just like the future you had planned together. So you were like mourning fantasies.
Yeah.
Like you were mourning things from your imagination. Like you had to like work through.
And then you'll do this thing to yourself too, where it's like, and we had friends together, and I'll lose them too, and all this kind of everything we did. It's all that you start amplifying it.
Yes.
Needlessly.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, just block them. It's like, just block them. It's fine.
Move on.
Move on.
Does comedy performing, does it serve a function at times like this?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, having something that you're obsessed with and can lean into, I think always helps. But then you also like, you feel like almost some resentment because if you gave up or took time off from your career or missed opportunities or made somebody else or anything else a bigger priority than your career, once it ends, there's going to be some resentment. That isn't their fault. That's on you. You made those decisions. You decided that person was important, but there's a little bit of you that's like, well, screw you. Then you're not anything to me anymore because I got to catch up and make up for all the time that I took away from this thing. Every time I go through a breakup, I'm like, oh, comedy's the only thing that's ever been there for me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is weird. And I started doing stand-up when I was 16. So I started right when I started, maybe like a few months after I started going to therapy.
How did you think of starting?
I didn't think of starting. My dad wanted to take a stand-up comedy class together just to like hang out. And so we did.
Is he funny?
He is funny. Yeah. He didn't like start doing stand-up or anything, but
what's he do for a living?
He's a realtor.
And your mom?
Realtor. My stepmom's a realtor.
And your biological mom?
She was stay-at-home mom.
She was stay-at-home.
Yeah.
And that's such a random thing for a dad to bring a 16-year-old daughter to.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. Someone at our church was going to take it and he was like, we should do this. It'd be fun. And it was honestly like, it was a 40-minute drive to the church where they were doing the class. So I think he just wanted to like, he's a big fan of like the phone or the car conversation.
Smart.
Yeah. So he was like, you're going to go to college in a couple years. Like, let's hang out. Let's do this thing together. And that was another thing I realized in therapy recently where I was like, oh, I think I've put a lot of my self-worth into being a stand-up comedian because before taking that class, I think I probably felt, not that my dad was like a bad dad or anything, but he was working all the time. He was like in a new marriage. Like he was kind of revamping his life. He was a teacher before that. So he was like in this whole new career. Like he was very preoccupied. And I think when he, and we fought a lot before that. And then once we took this class together, he kind of like, for the first couple years, it was something that we could do together. And I think I probably internalized some of that in a way I didn't realize, where I was like, oh, I feel like the reason people love me and pay attention to me is because I'm a comedian. And if I weren't a comedian, I used to ask my fiance that. I'm like, if I weren't a comedian, like, do you think you'd have fallen in love with me? And he was like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, I don't know though. I don't know if you would have.
There's no control experiment.
Yeah, I know there's nothing. You can't just like, yeah, I mean, because it does.
So I want to get that
like
logic right. So the logic was, Dad loves me because we're doing comedy together, and therefore
not that I knew he loved me, but it was like, this is why I'm worth spending time with because I'm good at this thing. Which is faulty logic.
I get it. No, it's a feeling. Yeah. And did he? Is that he acknowledged your talent right off the top, or was it?
Yeah.
He could tell.
Yeah.
Did he know you were funny when he asked you to do this class?
He knew I was funny. He knew I was a good writer, but he didn't think I was going to be like great at stand up. I think if anything, he's like, you can write for me, like.
For his stand-up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he's very performative, but
and you live out here now, Southern California.
I live out here now,
and so does he.
Yeah, he lives. They live in Riverside County, so they're like 2 hours away.
Comedy capital of the world.
Comedy capital of the world.
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
And so, what does it do for you now, comedy? Like, what is it? Anything about the relationship with the audience? Anything like?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty personal in my material, and so I think selfishly, it's there's something to people laughing at like painful things that happen to you, and you're like, I had this pile of shit and I just turned it into, this is just money now. This is just an experience we're all having together, and just being able to connect with people on that level, beyond just like making people laugh, is like people coming up and going like, oh man, I have a dead parent and I laughed really hard at that material, or like, so
it's a release.
Or like you are saying exactly
collective
what I'm
release.
thinking. Yeah, I think it's a collective release for sure. And it's like, I'm an introvert, and that's a lot. I mean, a lot of stand-ups are introverts.
A lot,
it's like
lot of performers.
Way.
It's hard for the general public to understand. A lot of performers think of themselves as introverted, and when in fact you're not. Right? You're not. But your self-concept is that you are.
Is that, you think?
You're not.
No?
I mean, but you may have that. You may fundamentally be that way, but you
Yeah.
compensated for it.
Yes, I think I figured out.
So the average person wouldn't know that about you.
True.
Like I'm absolutely introverted, anxious. I could never walk up to somebody and talk to them like in a public place or anything ever.
Yes.
And yet when I say that, people go, "No way."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I carefully compensated for a long time.
Right. You're like, no, I'm just really good at it. I'm just great at this. You always get mad where you're like, I know I just overcame but it's still there. That's still a part of me.
Now I'm having kind of an interesting experience watching you laugh. And I feel like we were talking about your dreams and that feeling of whatever that is that's come up in dreams. There's some connection between that and your what you're laughing about or something. Does that sound familiar? Because I just had a vivid experience when you were laughing. I thought, oh, that's connected to the dread or whatever somehow.
Maybe. Yeah, you know what? I think because my mom died young, when I did tell friends of mine, sometimes people didn't believe me because I would laugh. And I was just trying to make people comfortable.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I think weird that I would see that.
Yeah. Well, and you have to do that on stage too. Like if you want to tell a joke about breaking off an engagement, you got to be like, but I'm fine. Like until you are. but
you're actually laughing at it.
Yeah. Because there's nothing
Yeah.
out. Like that's how I cope with it. That's how I cope with everything. I mean, nobody makes more dead mom jokes than me and my sisters, to the point where we have to prepare significant others when they meet our family, because if you just unleash it on them, they're like, what do I do? This is a pack of psychos. And we're like, no, it's fine, we've dealt with it. And they're like, oh, so you're fine with it? I'm like, no, we're all broken, but that's why you're here, Jared. No, Jared's great.
And your sisters are cool. They're good.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. And they're all very funny and like cool and have no interest in this lifestyle because they're probably healthier than I am. But I'm the oldest and I chose a career in show business, so I just need so much validation. Apparently,
but you're doing it and it's rewarding, and
yes.
and you're doing not just the comedy, and not just the stand up, but the podcasting and finding other ways to express it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Okay, good.
You said it and then you asked me.
Well, you said it. You had
and I was like, I don't know. I thought.
You had a look of fear in your face, like yes.
What if I keep laughing and then it just dissolves into sobbing? Would that be on brand for this show?
That's what I'm going for.
Has anyone cried on this show yet?
Oh, I'm sure.
You're sure?
Have we not had tears on this show?
Has anyone cried?
I don't think on this show.
Not yet.
Bert cried when I showed him the cesspool man.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
so
You almost threw up.
Well, yeah, but that was different tears.
It's different tears, though, to be fair. Interesting. It's an interesting question, because I'm very accustomed to people crying when we talk about this kind of material, but it may be that comedians don't cry as much as average. I hadn't really thought about it. I mean, we're not going for tears, but
yeah, I think we're more likely to laugh when we're talking about it.
It's well, for sure, and that's what we like. You know, the audience, all of us like seeing the funny. It gets us all away from that material sometimes. Thank you for that insight. That's interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Now I'm going for tears. Let's do.
I just think you should switch it up.
All right. Want to do some emails?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I want to ask a question about female ejaculation. Y'all ready?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right. I've been blessed with the ability to always be able to orgasm and often enjoy masturbating rather than engaging with men when I'm single. Lately, I've been noticing when I orgasm, a thick semen-looking substance follows and makes me think I have a yeast infection. I do not have a discharge during the day, blah, blah, blah. What's causing it? Even if I talk about squirting, most women get uncomfortable or whine that they can't.
Are women whining that they can't squirt?
Well, here's what I've noticed.
Okay.
Is that this is not pertinent to squirting per se, though it falls under this umbrella. Women are each so different.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're not the same as somebody else, you start feeling diminished by that.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there's no standard, there's no this one's better than this, I've noticed particularly the women that have multiple orgasms with intercourse, the women that need direct stimulation feel broken.
That's interesting.
When it's just It's just their biology.
It's like way less women that can.
Oh, way less.
Yeah, it's
like 5% maybe.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think those 5% are lying. No, I'm joking. I'm completely joking. I know that's a real thing.
What's weird is that it's so easy for them. They think the other women are lying.
Really?
Or that they haven't figured it out yet. Like it's like
they're like pitying us.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's sad. No, you need someone to really care about you. That sucks.
So so women thinking less of themselves because somebody else does something is super common and really unfortunate, by the way.
But squirting just sounds inconvenient.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's like you already gotta,
Deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's already a lot going on.
Who needs more?
But this isn't squirting.
It may be. It's just it's not sort of squirting. It's just sort of rather than a full ejaculation, it's just sort of a discharge.
You might just have a weak squirt.
A weak squirt. Like some men can really produce, and some men it's sort of women can be kind of like that too. So
this is such a medical question. I was not prepared for that.
Anyway, we do and why is stigma? That's the other thing. Why is there stigma around any of this? Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Women stigmatize other women. They're brutal to other women.
Yeah. I mean everyone's brutal to women, but yeah,
you're right, but women are brutal to themselves and they're brutal to other women more so than men are to them. Although I'm not excusing men, trust me.
Right, yeah.
I've just noticed women are really tough on each other.
Yeah.
Well, so
did we answer that?
Kinda. I'm a 24-year-old biological male. Is it normal after jerking it? Some nights I feel like I have a full bladder, have to pee, yet I do not leak or at all or dribble, blah, blah, blah. 2 hours. It could be an hour or two before you get frustrated enough just to go to sleep. Something is wrong with me. This is not prostatitis, it's sort of urethritis. You're irritating your urethra. And so it can feel very uncomfortable for a while afterwards or hurt when you pee. Oh. And it can lead to prostatitis, actually. So, but
I'm learning so much.
Yes, we're trying to tell you all about, teach you about the male. Let's take a little break so I can tell you about our sponsor, Les Mills. They have on-demand free for 21 days. That's right. Workouts starting from 15 to 55 minutes. That's, again, 15 to an hour. And the app is amazing. It's just really high-quality videos, something for everybody here. Really, I'll tell you more about it. 800 fitness workouts from yoga, dance, cycling, strength training, kids workouts. There's something for everyone here. I'm looking at Body Pump, Body Combat, Les Mills Grit. I mean, martial arts, core conditioning, indoor cycling, you name it. 800 plus individual workouts, as I said, from 15 to 55 minutes. And the exercises are modified options for any level of fitness or experience. So it's good for everybody. The training guides are 3, 6, 9, 12-week workout plans. Again, they've really thought of everything for this. And there's an online global fitness community. It's a private Facebook page that facilitates motivation and support for the Les Mills On-Demand community. And right now, for our listeners, we have a special offer from Les Mills On-Demand where you can get 21 days for free access to the fitness app. As I told you, everything is here. It's a pretty amazing community and app. So don't wait. Go to Try Les Mills, TRYLESMILLS, TryLesMills.com/Drew. Again, that is TRYLESMILLS.com/Drew to get this special 21-day free access to the fitness app. Again, TryLesMills.com/Drew. Check it out. When you started your business, did you dream about all those administrative tasks like drafting proposals and contracts and tracking down payments? That was not part of the fun you imagined. Well, HoneyBook is an online business management tool that organizes your client communications, bookings, contracts, invoices, all in one place. HoneyBook makes it simple to run your business better. Professional templates, e-signatures, and built-in automation keeps everything on track, easy, and makes you look good. They can even consolidate services you already use, like QuickBooks, Google Suite, Excel, MailChimp, or Gmail. It is the #1 choice for client and business management for freelancers and business owners. Save time, do more of what you love with HoneyBook. And right now, HoneyBook is offering our listeners 50% off when you visit honeybook.com/Drew. Payment is flexible, and this promotion applies whether you pay monthly or annually. Go to honeybook.com/Drew for 50% off your first year. Again, that's honeybook.com/Drew. One more time, 50% off your first year when you visit honeybook.com/Drew. Now let's get back to the show. Me and a couple of buddies were talking about free balling when one of them proceeds to tell us he has never done it. He only wears boxer briefs because he's afraid of getting his nuts tangled up with each other. What?
Tangled up?
With each other?
Like Christmas lights? How long are your balls, man?
Exactly.
I'm worried about that guy.
Apparently he knows a guy who had this happen to them. The doctor had to cut open his bag. Oh my God.
Oh.
He is not talking about that at all. Oh my God. People are... Our viewers. Let me finish reading it, then I'll tell you what this is. Is getting your testicle tubes tangled up a common injury? Should I be worried about it happening or go on letting my beaver bait swing free? Our guys have great command of language. Love your podcast. Keep them high and tight. So this is called testicular torsion.
Oh my gosh, there's a word for this?
It's not get me a picture of a testicle or two testicles preferably.
I did not expect this.
It's not possible for them to get tangled up with each other. That's the most insane thing I ever heard in my time.
Okay, good. All right.
They are God separated them. There's testicular torsion. So okay, see that picture?
Oh, they're twisting.
The gray picture, yes.
Oh, like
that
a tire swing.
Exactly. Okay. On the right is a it twists on itself within the scrotum. And it can cut off its own blood supply.
Dr. Drew is showing me drawings, by the way.
Yes,
This is very professional, this podcast. He would not show me live footage.
No, that would be uncomfortable.
Of testicular torsion.
Mm-hmm. So like you said, it's a tire swing. I like the way your mind works. It's like a lot of cool
If we're gonna look at testicles, I gotta relate it to something fun, like Christmas or summer.
Christmas lights, tire swings, here we go. So and sometimes it will relieve itself, but sometimes you have to go in and surgically repair it, and it's a very serious thing because the testicle will die if the blood supply gets cut off, and it hurts like
the
crazy.
Testicle will die.
Yeah, and I would argue you can still free ball. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm a 22-year-old female. I've had chronic migraines for 6 years. No doctor's been telling me. Before we get to migraine talk, let's get a voice message in here. Something for Taylor.
All right, here we go.
Sup, Dr. Drew and mommies. My name's Anne, and I have a question for Dr. Drew. I'm wondering why there is a positive correlation between how much caffeine I drink in a day and my clit. Sometimes I'll be at work, and the more coffee I drink, I'll randomly just get unexplainably horny, and it's disturbing because I work in an office setting. So just wondering what your feedback is on that, and thanks. Try it out.
Try it out, indeed. You're looking scared.
No, I mean, that just sounds like you're more awake to be horny.
If you were a male, you would just drink more coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
You wouldn't be like, what's the correlation?
Yeah, females don't think like that.
They'd just be like, sick!
That's right. More. So
venti.
But I do know some women that get certain kinds of mild sexual stimulation from even other stimulants, like even cold pills. Some women will get stuff like that.
Really?
So I've never heard of it from caffeine, but it makes sense to me that somebody might have that.
Yeah, to me that just sounds like, I mean, I'm not horny if I'm too tired. So it just sounds like you're awake.
It's a little different. It's actually an actual stimulation. And I'm going to guess she's one of those super sensitive types. We were talking about that 5%. She's one of the 5%ers.
Right.
Oh, okay. She's one of those.
Well, I don't like her anymore. Ooh, caffeine makes me horny. Get whatever.
Up next.
Can I get another green tea? With an espresso shot?
Hey, Dr. Drew, this is Caleb. I'm a pre-medical student applicant right now and also a biochemistry researcher.
Ooh, nice.
I just saw your podcast with Jimmy Yang and talking about the squirt is a pee. I just wanted to share with you my hypothesis that I actually concluded and verified that squirt is pee. My girlfriend had a UTI infection and had to take the medicine. I forget the name, but it's the one that makes their urine kind of orange.
Pyridium.
After we administered that, we waited some time. I did make her squirt, and the entire bed was then orange.
All right. So
it is pee.
All right.
There might be some other fluids mixed in, but the majority is pee.
That's pretty solid.
That with you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
It's actually not good scientific thinking because the pyridium could also get into other fluids than the urine. Right?
Oh,
Pyridium
it can.
is excluded.
Oh, okay.
Well, he didn't check that out. He assumed that. Number one. Number two, what I said was for some women it is pee and for some women it is not.
I'm so dumb. I'm just like, yeah. I'm the person who goes to a science fair like at a middle school and goes like, I guess potatoes are clocks. Like I'm just That checks out to me.
That kid is going to the moon next year. So it is pee in the majority of cases, probably.
Okay.
And when it is, it's called female orgasmic incontinence. It's actually a different thing. It is kind of a squirty thing, but it is not actually female ejaculate.
Oh, but it's not as hot to be like.
Guys want evidence of their.
Yeah.
Guys just want evidence of what they've done.
Yeah, they want some new magic.
No. Just show us evidence of our hard work, and we're happy.
Right.
It doesn't.
So they don't care that it's.
They
pee.
don't care.
Oh, they just want to know.
They want something produced.
Got it.
They're
okay.
wondering what it is. They wonder about everything, but they like that something was produced for their labor.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. When I cry after sex, people aren't stoked, but
it's not always.
Is that squirting? That's kind of.
It's
if you cry hard enough.
Squirting for your tear ducts.
Yeah. I think so.
Like Charlie Brown, it kind of went out to the side.
I call it face squirting. Yeah.
and have you ever done that?
Squirted? No.
No.
Cried?
Cried after sex.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What is this? Amateur hour?
And so what do you tell your partner?
I just say like, I love you so much.
You do not say that.
I do. And sometimes that's it. Maybe.
So you have kind of happy tears.
Yeah. I think sometimes I'm just like so overwhelmed, and then other times.
No, guys would love the happy tear thing because again, it's producing something. It's
it freaks them out at first, but then if you're like, "Oh, I just am so close to you," they're like, "Oh, dope." Okay.
Anything you can do that we can't do that we produce in you, we're all about it.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it's tears, doesn't matter.
Any control.
Not control. It's like, I did that? It's like, really that much? Tell me more.
Except when we're like crazy. If we're like yelling, nobody's like, I made her yell.
No, not that.
Yeah.
But the tears they don't want to hear is like, it made me realize that I'm not as into you as I was.
Oh, yeah. No, you don't want that. Yeah. That's not
You're
great.
thinking through whether that has happened.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that. Okay. It's usually like overwhelming emotion.
That's good. It's well done. So that's kind of squirty.
We don't need to call anybody.
It has the same effect for the male ego anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
Next voice message.
Hey, Dr. Drew. Scott calling from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Long-time fan. Love the new podcast. Keep those jeans high and tight. Reason I'm calling is for the last few months, I guess, I've been waking up in the middle of the night in like mid-jerk. And I cannot figure out for the life of me, why am I jerking off in my sleep? My girlfriend thinks it's fucking hilarious. And she's woken up to it a few times, and she brings it to my attention, and I get unbelievably embarrassed. I have no idea why this is going on. It's something that's just started. And, anyway, look forward to your answer. Thanks, man.
I think he actually also emailed us. I was just looking for his
email.
Really?
I
saw that email here, too. Well, first of all, marry her.
Yeah.
She's perfect. I mean, she's cracking up at this. She goes, it's hilarious.
Yeah, instead of like, who are you dreaming about? Is it my friend?
So, funny thing about males is when they're in various states of consciousness, of unconsciousness, really, they will reach for the schwanz.
Oh.
One of the first things that males do when they come out of a coma, like when they're still of a light coma, like an awake coma, they'll be messing around with themselves a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's
so
gotta make it weird for their loved ones gathered.
How about or the hospital, or we're just put the leather sheet on, put the plastic sheet over them. But it's certain people in sleep. It means whatever that part of your body is sort of awake, let's say, and your brain is just doing what it does. It's just you're not in a full state of consciousness, and it's neither here nor there. But it means some sexual, I don't want to say tension, but just need for discharge, essentially.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a problem.
Not a problem, especially if you've discovered this with the woman of your dreams now.
Yeah, seriously.
Here it is. This is him. He calls himself a sleep rapist.
Oh, that seems.
I know. I always want to. He's worried in this email. It may not be the same guy. I want women to feel safe and comfortable around me, especially any that give me great pleasure for sharing the bed. Have you ever heard of anything we were talking about it? He was sort of worried that they would feel violated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if this is a different, but this is
a
the
different
same
guy. I think
it's a different guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just need to find someone who thinks it's funny.
Right?
Yeah, they're out there.
I mean, we just heard about one.
We just heard a story of hope and redemption,
and inspiration.
That was.
It's good for all males.
Disney's gonna make the movie next year.
Oh, it'd be so good. I can see it on Freeform now. My question is, since AI and technology is getting more and more advanced, do you believe there will become a point in human history where there will be no longer a need for human physicians, for human doctors? No, that will not happen. There is a lot of clear data that pure logic is not as effective as the holistic approach of certain parts of our brain. And the way we're trained, the experiential learning has not yet been recreated in AI. And there's a kind of learning in the real world, in space, where we literally have bodily based learning, like we have feelings about things. And I know things from across the room. When somebody walks in the room, I know what's going on medically with them because I've seen it 1,000 times. I know what feelings it evokes in me. I know kind of what it smells like, looks like, walks like. I just know what it is when it walks in. And AI can't do that holistic yet, what I would call a bodily based instinct on the whole, on your impressions. And when I'm making a diagnosis, I use that part of my brain, and then I check it 1 billion times through lots of logical mechanisms to see if I'm right, where I'm wrong, and how to refine that sort of instinctive impression.
Oh, that's interesting. So when I walked in, what was wrong with me?
We got right to it.
Yeah.
we've been on it all.
But you
show.
said when you walk in. So when I walked in, were you just like abandonment issues?
Abandonment, crying after sex, all that.
You're like, I saw that coming.
I saw it coming. Okay, we're gonna get to clips now. Now these clips have crazy names that I'm saying. Creepy twins, cum huggers. I have no idea what that means. You're gonna be shocked and amused the way I am. So, gentlemen, which should we start with?
We'll start light. We'll start with the creepy twins.
Okay.
Just some twins that are really in sync with each other. And let me know if you've ever seen this before, Drew.
All right.
They're 32 and they've hardly ever been apart. There's just one time when they were 17.
Only when one of us were in hospital getting our appendix out. But Bridget used to come in every visiting hours when I could. But if I was allowed to sleep there, I would have.
Ooh, creepy.
This is what I want.
That's called
I want to be a twin. I didn't know. I was watching
I'll be your twin.
Going like, wait, will you ride a bike in sync with me? Like that? Will you wear matching
everything?
Kohl's shirts with me?
I thought it was from Marshall's. But,
you're giving them a leg up if you're saying Marshall's.
I guess so.
That's Kohl's if I ever
But there's
seen
a name for that speech pattern. It's called echolalia.
Oh.
And it's a primitive speech pattern, which means that this has been going on probably since they were babies and no one got in the way of it. Probably somebody thought it was cute.
Nobody was like, let them finish?
Nobody was like, let's get in the way of this. It's too cute. Look how they do that. Oh my God, it's so cute. And then here you are.
I wonder if they dress the same just for TV interviews.
I was wondering that too, if they were doing a lot of this for shtick. But
is this a bit?
Do we have more?
I don't think it is a bit. Here's the next one.
Okay.
Oh, big God. Where's this going?
As children, they resisted efforts to prise them apart.
Apparently when we were little, Mum did separate us as when we were little toddlers. One stayed at Nan's place and one stayed at our auntie's. And we just non-stop screaming. And that's when we were little babies, we non-stop screaming. And so then when they put us back together, we were quite happy.
Please send this clip to Kristen Wiig and what's his name from Portlandia?
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen.
Yes.
They do a skit where they're trying to do this and they almost pull it off. These girls are doing it.
I mean, this is my perfect relationship. Like, I just want someone who screams
with
nonstop while they're separated from me.
Well, they wouldn't allow the separation because of the screaming.
That's what I'm saying.
I
want a ride or die motherfucker.
You're jealous.
And that's what these are. I'm so jealous. I was ready to make fun of them. I can't. I'm like, they have what we all want.
This has so far spoke more about you than almost anything we've discussed. But let's continue.
I want someone to have my back.
This is more than having your back. This is having your innards. They're inside each other. I want someone to have my
liver.
There you go. Oh.
At school, their teachers
that had to be the mom, right?
That was the mom.
In primary school, we were sitting at the same table, and they accused us of cheating because they thought we were looking at one another and saying doing this and doing that and doing the same questions. No, we rather die than cheat. So they split us up. And they gave us a different, not the exactly same questions what we had before. And we came up with the same answers and questions, and
Because
they
they're
were
the
just
same.
Look at how they look at each other. They're in love.
and they said sorry.
Things are strange in Melbourne, Australia. They are. Right? That's where this got to be where this is. No?
I'm not sure Melbourne.
No, it's not
Maybe it
Sydney.
is.
They wouldn't allow this in Sydney.
They wouldn't allow it. Yeah.
Is there more, or have we seen enough?
Here's the last clip.
The twins dream of married life
Married?
together.
Well, our plan is probably just next door to one another and have the exactly same identical house, and even our furniture will probably be in the same spots, and or buy acreage and have built two homes, or have a real huge big home and all live together.
You
They're
notice
going
how
to have to marry twins, right?
Siamese twins,
Yeah.
because everything's going to have to happen together. So do you notice how one is the dominant? One sort of dominates in the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? And it's usually the one on our left
Yeah.
that's sort of a little more. But the other one does sometimes take off too. It's very interesting. You. Well, I don't envy them. I don't envy them.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Ew.
I know. It's a little creepy.
I can't imagine seeing my doctor and having her be like, yeah, it's fascinating.
Come see me sometime. We'll see what that's like.
So Drew, I guess I had a question. Like, is it too late to fix this? Or?
It's going to be tough. It's never too late, of course. Look who's sitting across from me. But it's going to be tough. I mean, they're just so enmeshed, and that's the opposite of health and autonomy. But I try not to judge other people's lives if that's how they would.
You're doing a great job.
I know. I'm a little concerned about the mom. I'd have a couple notes for her, but the kids themselves, it's like.
Well, if they won't stop screaming, what are you going to do?
You separate them.
Yeah.
You do
You're
what you
like,
got to do.
That's a red flag.
Yeah. They probably, everybody sleep in the same bed and stuff too, because there's a little bit of screaming, probably.
Yeah.
Right? Oof. All right. Keep it going.
All right. So the next clip that we're going to see, staying on theme of, I don't know, let's call it connection with other people.
Uh-oh.
We are now on to cum hugging. So this couple claims, they teach seminars on how to get this done. And I guess, Drew, the question is if this is actually possible or if this is all bullshit.
I'm still seeing the twins up there.
Hi, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Scotty O.
With Ecstatic Hearts Tantra. And we just want to share that there are many ways to orgasm.
Stop.
You don't.
Stop.
That woman's never had one. I guarantee you, I would bet $1,000. I would bet $1 million. I don't even have it.
I'm always really bothered by people that are so affected when they talk about sexuality rather than matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's like you. Right?
Yeah, I'm not on board with this.
And I'm not sure he is either. He started going along with it.
He looks terrified.
Yeah, terrified going along with it. So let's see where this goes. Go ahead.
You actually have to be having sex. You can orgasm just from hugging. The whole body can be orgasmic. And especially when you start reaching higher states of orgasmic ecstasy, everything can be a trigger for
So
orgasm.
you're right, because
Yeah.
she's never had an orgasm, doesn't know what an orgasm is.
Yeah.
She thinks she's having an orgasm when she hugs her boyfriend.
Yeah, she's getting wet and moaning.
Yes.
She's like, I did it.
I had an orgasm.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And
How'd you know that?
Because you know what? I was one of those people that had an orgasm really late, I feel like, for the first time. And I was just like, but like, what if I don't know if I'd had one? And all my friends are like, you'll know.
And then finally, oh shit.
No one said that to her.
Right.
The
You're
ears, the neck, the heart, the boobs, touching your body all over. Eating can be orgasmic.
See, because she doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, eating is pretty good, but I wouldn't say orgasmic.
No. Taylor is the.
She's like laughing
Yes.
at them for filming her.
Yes.
She knows what she's doing is bullshit.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
This is so funny. Look at the filming me.
yeah.
Taylor, you're sort of the orgasm oracle.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's very good. Can
Yeah.
you see that at a distance?
Oh, I can see repression from a mile away.
We don't like these people.
There's, even within that, there's different levels of orgasm. So
like a way.
He just said what she said.
Yeah, he's going with it so he actually can have an orgasm later in the day.
He thinks this is going to pay off. He's
Yes.
in this for the long game.
Right.
And it's still just about as good as most people's sex.
Notice how he includes it in just about as good. He's like, well, don't go to the orgasm story.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm disgusted.
This is... Do you think he wears a condom when they hug? Just for safety?
I think he should.
It's as good as sex.
I found that more disturbing than the twins.
Yeah, that was
Strangely enough.
so much worse. That sounded like me fake laughing at a joke my uncle made at Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, it was like,
In fact, I saw you do it a couple times to some stuff I said. So one of the reasons it really bothers me is that they're promoting something as though they have expertise when they have none.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it as though it's something that they've discovered and it's real and they're promoting it. That's keep it yourself, honey.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
So that's everything on.
I see steroids make your balls shrink.
Yep. We are about to go over to, I think his name is Richie Piana. We covered this on Your Mom's House a couple years ago, and he's here with a PSA for all of us.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Whoa. Today I'm going to talk about, do steroids make your balls shrink? Well, the answer is yes, they do. But let me throw this at you. Is that really a bad fucking thing?
That guy with the twisted balls might benefit.
Yes, indeed. It might make
steroids.
it less likely to hang and twist.
Mm-hmm.
Visually and aesthetically, looking at, would you prefer to see a dick hanging lower than the balls or fucking balls hanging lower than the dick?
I like the way he's thought about this.
I think this is...
Oh my God, what'd she say? Her voice sounded lower than his. What did she say?
She said...
The dick.
Dick hanging lower than the balls.
She's on steroids too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I think that's sound logic, actually.
It is sound logic, but that guy's taking a lot of steroids.
Yeah, no, I'm worried about him.
I mean, a lot. To get that big, you have to be taking, like, throughout the day, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And that is dangerous.
Yeah, rest in peace. I think he died 2 years ago.
Okay.
Really?
Shocking.
Of course you would rather see a dick hang lower than the balls. Now, some guys are blessed and have big fucking dicks, and some guys are fucked and have little motherfucking dicks. So,
this guy's
guys
dick is
that
so
have
small.
balls that hang down lower than their dick, I would think they would want their fucking balls to shrink.
He seems to hate dicks.
His is so small.
He says, is that what it is? He got a small dick?
Look at how big his arms are. He has the smallest dick you've ever seen. I guarantee you.
Got it. I have big arms, and that doesn't correlate.
Look, but he's overcompensating.
Oh, I see.
Is what I'm saying.
I see. Got it.
Because honestly, having balls hanging down below your dick is not the best look, and it only makes your dick look even smaller than it is. So,
as opposed to making yourself huge.
Yeah.
It makes himself look like.
Yeah. Nobody tries to make themselves look like Buzz Lightyear if they have a big dick.
You just heard it from a hot girl, and I guarantee you every fucking girl out there is going to say the same fucking thing. They'd rather see the dick hanging lower than the balls.
Here's what I'm more interested in. Why did that part crack you up?
Just that he's like, this girl's been sitting there the whole time, and you are kind of like, why is she there? And, and he's like, see? Hot! Agrees with me.
The hot girl opinion.
Yeah.
But my question is, men to some extent do that to themselves because they think it looks good to women.
Right.
And to a small group of women, I think it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to most, no.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. Everyone's sexy to somebody. So it's like there's every look out there is somebody's particular
But to
thing.
go through all that and kill yourself, quite literally, taking all these steroids, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that girl would go out with you if you were at 50%, bro, of that.
80% less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Although, I love that she's on steroids too. That's hysterical. Well, yeah. Go ahead. There's more? Go ahead.
How many girls out there that get turned on by a fucking pair of balls? No. Okay, so having the balls shrink maybe 20 to 30% is probably a good fucking thing. In fact, not probably, it is a good fucking thing. The higher your balls are, the bigger your fucking dick looks.
We're back to that again.
I'm telling you, that guy has a micropenis. Like, there's just no other explanation
I'm
for
so
it.
glad you know what a micropenis is.
Thank you.
Okay, well done. It's an actual clinical term. So, have you ever encountered something like that? 'Cause
No,
some women
I haven't.
do, and it's always a very challenging situation.
I've never heard anyone call it anything else. Is that an impressive medical term?
It's an actual term.
Right.
Yeah.
But are a lot of people coming in like, I saw a mini pee-pee the other day. Like, I feel like a lot of people know micropenis.
Perhaps these days. I guess all those years on Loveline, they did not.
Yeah.
You know, did radio for
Everyone's
a long
like,
time.
it was a teeny tiny teeny
like,
weenie.
It was the smallest penis. It was like my pinky. Blah, 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 blah. And,
yeah. Yeah, micropenis sounds a little more a fish.
Yeah. And a little more, it's not just official, but it's a clinical syndrome. And so, you know,
right.
it's like,
Yeah.
Poor dude.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any more voice messages for us?
We sure do.
All right, let's do it. We got a couple more in here.
Hi, Drew. This is Shane in St. Louis.
Shane sounds depressed.
It's Sunday morning. I had a few beers last night. Woke up a bit hungover.
Okay.
Realized that I'm a bit emotional. I'm sitting here watching the Great British Bake Off, and I'm tearing up as people are getting eliminated. And
Taylor's in love with you.
What the relationship between being hungover and emotional is, or why I'm so emotional when I'm hungover. Love the show. Keep up the good work. I love you.
Thank you. Taylor loves you too.
I mean,
An
can you
alco-
send
an-
your details to the show?
An
and they'll
alcoholic in withdrawal?
Get in touch with me. That's what you do when you're hungover. I'm watching Great British Bake Off, and it's really resonating with me. I'm like, I don't care if you have a problem, if that's what happens.
I heard you're completely abstinent.
I am, yeah.
Because?
I'm pretty sure I'm an alcoholic, or I would be. I think I have an addictive personality, and I just don't. And there's like alcoholism in both sides of my family.
But do either of your parents actually have it?
They don't drink at all.
Because
My dad's
same
never
reason.
been drunk.
Same reason.
Yeah, same reason.
And what's the ethnicity?
We're all Caucasian, yeah.
Do better than that. I mean, Irish, Scottish,
Norwegian and English.
There's
Yeah.
pretty good alcohol background.
Yeah, so I just don't mess with it. And it's so free and available to me all the time that I'm like, why even?
You're very smart doing that, but what makes you think that would happen to you?
I think like growing up, I was like an emotional eater, and then that took like years to kind of get out of. And then just even like I'll get addicted to relationships and whatever. Like I think I just have a very all or nothing personality, and I do have a tendency to self-medicate if I'm not careful. So I try to be very
Self-medicate with
aware of that.
Medicine or
I think when I was younger with food, definitely with relationships, and then even now with like my psychiatrist, she'll put me on things, or like she gave me a Klonopin prescription, and I was like, give me like 10 of them and I'm gonna use them very sparingly.
Did you notice that you started thinking about it the next day and stuff?
I think I've only taken like 2 of them, and again like within the last 3 weeks, because I'm just like, this is for emergencies. Because if I don't think about it that way, I think it would be easy for me to just be like, this is just what I do now. This is how I function.
Well, your newfound love is probably an alcoholic.
Probably,
by the sounds of
yeah.
things. And when people have full-blown withdrawal, they can have any psychiatric syndrome under the sun, including depression or emotionality or all kinds of stuff. And so, not a surprise.
Yeah.
Not a surprise. But he manifested in a lovely way, though.
It was so nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
You should stop drinking. But
So she'll marry an alcoholic. She won't be one. Next voice message.
Hi, Dr. Drew. This is Cameron. I had a question about what is a patient's responsibility in researching what a medical expert tells them what to do? Or in other words, trusting a doctor.
Yeah.
I myself have never had any bad encounters with doctors, but my girlfriend's family has had countless scenarios where they either give them bad advice, they prescribe them medication they don't need. So thank you. Really appreciate the show.
Really interesting question. It's one of the reasons that you should cultivate a relationship with a physician, somebody you trust, somebody you have a track record with, somebody you can communicate with very openly and regularly and more than once if you need to review data or review the recommendations. Nothing more efficient than a caring, well-trained physician and a motivated, informed patient. So do inform yourself. That's part of your responsibility. Do ask questions. Do make sure that they're adequately answered. keep coming back if you have any questions or if things don't seem to be going well. And by the way, physicians are not right all the time, but usually if we can adjust course or if we can, see things over time, we really most of the time end up in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they're counting on you to participate in that relationship over time. Now, if it's just a horrible reaction, I mean, bad things happen. Every time you interact with a physician, bad things can happen. Just walking into the office, you can catch things from other people. We can give medicines are dangerous. We can give you something that give you life-threatening reactions easily. That's just part of interacting with the medical system. So stay informed, but do not know the difference between your Google search and the physician's medical training. There's a gigantic distance. The stuff you know at the end of your Google search, no matter how extensive, we knew at the end of second year medical school. And then we did 8 more years of training after that in the experiential aspects, applications. So we've seen everything thousands of times, at least hundreds of times. And but we'd like you to be informed so you can be a part of the process. Does that make sense? Did I say that in a decent way?
I thought it was good. I can't weigh in on that one.
And if your doctor says ew, watch out. So,
yeah, what would you say? Yeah, that seems like it wouldn't cultivate trust.
No.
But
Taylor's saying she doesn't trust me because I said ew a couple of times today. So where can we find you?
You can go to my website, ttomcomedy.com.
T-T-O-M.
ttomcomedy.com. Get tickets to live shows. I'm filming my Netflix special at the Aladdin Theater in Portland.
Fantastic.
Thank you. On November 10th, we're doing 2 shows, so you can go to my website for that or the Aladdin Theater website. And then Taylor Tomlinson on everything else.
And then your podcast with Kelsey.
Self-Helpless,
which do you have guests on that one?
We do have guests. Yeah, we have guests.
I got to be a guest on that one.
Yeah, we would love for you to be a guest on it if you have time.
Where do you guys do it?
We do it in Burbank. We do it at the All Things Comedy Network studio.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'll get in touch with your people.
Yeah. Have your people call my people. For me, Dr. Drew, Adam and Drew, This Life. Check out all his pods, all at drdrew.com. And don't forget the radio show, noon to 3 on AM 790 in Los Angeles. And again, it's all at drdrew.com for me. And I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, and we'll see you next time. All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the drdrew.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.